The urn is now not a resting place. The urn, yes, your ashes, if you ever want to be in an urn, I guess. And then I guess there are people who want to be burnt and then turned into powder and then remain in a bottle like some sort of genie, I guess, like frickin' Aladdin or something, you know. And who's gonna rub your sorry ass jar, I mean. But anyway, people are buying urns with discos in them. And yes, I'm not fucking making this up. I'm not joking about this. It says here, I just, you know, the eternal playlist in your urn, disco in peace. So people just want to go to that freaking midnight graveyard forever, I guess, you know. Living alone, no. But I don't know, like I didn't get the whole concept, you know. You're already dead, you're already a powder, and you're in a jar. And you have this playlist playing inside the jar. It's not like people outside can maybe, you know, enjoy the noise, I guess, but it's all freaking soundproof on the inside. So the urn is a club itself, and you're the only member there. So imagine you being stuck in a club all alone by yourself, and you're dead, and you hear your freaking family members and shit, you know. That is not a nice place in my opinion, you know. That is not a nice place. I would rather, you know, go back to Mother Nature, you know. Fuck it, you know. I'd rather become some sort of grass, freaking flowers, maybe a tree, I guess, some bark. One day someone's gonna milk that tree, make some sort of maple syrup, I guess. But who knows, man. And then yesterday, bro, the weirdest shit. 6 a.m. in the morning, I'm coming here, and I see these two men on the road, 6 a.m. in the fucking morning, holding hands as if they're freaking taking a stroll in a park. Two men. It just, you know, I don't know, bro. That was just too much. 6 a.m. on a freaking road, and you're not even on the freaking sidewalk, bro. These guys are walking on the right lane. I'm like, jeez, bro. Calm it down. 6 a.m. in the fucking morning, bro. Jeez. It's insane. It really is. And then faggy kids, bro. Faggy kids are getting out of hand. You know, with all due respect, these flipping kids, bro, they need some sodium in them or something, or some creatine, you know. Their brains are not working at all. These two kids were in the playground, and let me tell you, this playground is pretty much like a desert, you know. And they have their bicycles in the sand, and I hear them talking. They're like, these cycles are shit. We can't really drive them here, you know, on the sand. And let me tell you, they have these cycles with two supporting tires in the back. And the cycles, like the tires are like 5 inches deep into the freaking sand, 4 inches deep into the sand. I'm like, and these kids are just calling these cycles shit. These two faggy kids. And I'm walking past them, just looking at them like, there's a freaking road and a nice footpath over there. Like, you guys could easily drive these things over there. Why? You know what I mean? It's TikTok, bro, I'm telling you. It's TikTok, I'm telling you, because I've been noticing a pattern on TikTok. The people, with all due respect, they can't really get rid of TikTok. It's almost like this disease, and And scary to see, by the way. It's concerning in a very weird way. It's literally gotten the hold of these people's minds in some sort of a psychological way. TikTok is pretty much ruining a lot of these kids, young adult even, but mostly kids, bro. And it's sad to see them just slip into this abyss of TikTok, literal TikTok. The thing itself, it sounds like some ominous clicking talk, taking away your time and turning it into some cosmic energy, like TikTok. Your time's running out. TikTok. TikTok, and these guys are getting cursed and shit, It's wild to see because, you want to help some of these people. Not like help as in you're some sort of a person who's not flawed in his own different way. But you wanna tell them like, look, this is not healthy for you. This is harming you, and you realize this. But for some reason, you don't wanna. And it's like, even when you know something is harming you and you really can't let go, that right there is fucking black magic, bro. This is like straight up dark arts, bro. That thing, that app, I don't know how, but it's cursing people. There's no other way around it. This is insane, and I'm not joking about this. Like, you could get addicted to these short form content, freaking reels and stuff. It's a real thing. It's not a joke. It's taking people's lives. And there's no concern about this. Everybody's talking about the flippin' Epstein bullshit still. And then about the war. And look, war is a little bit more of a concern and should be paid, you should pay your due attention on that subject. But not get lost in it, because these things are bigger than us, whether you want to accept it or not. Regardless of how much truth you want from this, nobody gives a shit about you. Nobody gives a shit about me. To them, to everyone else, we are just like, casualties of war, Might as well be like a misfire and something falls near someone. You get crushed, you get freaking annihilated. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. And if nobody gives a shit, and you understand how the world works, regardless of how much you ask the world to give a shit about you, that is just miserable if you do that, by the way. But regardless of how much you do that, the world's not going to give it to you. They're only going to give a shit about you if you're worth something, If you have, I guess, some sort of hold on people or some sort of a platform that drives agenda and so on and so forth. But if you're not someone like that, you're just, you were just in the way, I don't even know what to call it, I can't remember the exact term. But, like a misfire or something, Oops, sorry, we didn't know you were there, as if. And I'm not shitting about this. I'm actually okay with this, by the way. I'm not like arguing with them to like give me some concern or give me some attention. Shut the fuck up. They don't give a shit about you, and you shouldn't. Regardless, at the end of the day, we all got one lives. So, are you gonna really live that life just giving a shit about people who don't even care? You're gonna waste your time thinking about this shit. Can you imagine yourself? That is utter bullshit. And I didn't want to get into this subject, but it's really hard to deal with people, especially when it comes to the topic of people not being happy and they just want to quit. And now suddenly you're the only person who knows that, or you're the only person who's able to do something with that, and it's almost pressuring in a way. It's, for me personally speaking, and I don't want to share a lot of things here personally, but I've had experiences where some things just hit a nerve, you know. When they hit a nerve, you get all anxious, you know. And I know it's going to be a lifelong battle regardless, and it's a thing that comes and goes. And for most people, there is this thing, you know, there's this thing. Regardless of how much you push against that resistance, or regardless of how much flipping layers of bandage or cream or stitches or whatever you want to call it, laser it or something, it's always gonna sprout back up. And at the end of the day, it's almost like either you keep stitching that up and apologize for that, or you let people know like this shit happens, and you're just as flawed as them in their own way. And the dumb thing is, a lot of people don't understand that because they have not reached that stage of understanding themselves. And I'm laughing because it's funny. It really is funny, because whenever you say that, you know, I understand myself and I know everything, there it comes back. There it comes back. With the envelope, with the freaking hockey stick or the baseball bat knocking at your door, asking for their due share of whatever that is, you know. They want it. They want their share. And everybody, look at all these people, man, who've achieved a lot, and they'll be repeating some of the same things. Like, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck regardless. You have to accept that fact. Full stop. Need to accept it. Do you accept it? Okay. Now you can experience some of the joy of life. Every now and then, you'll get a little trickle of happiness, a little trickle of, you know, joy. But that's your fair share. That's it. Don't be freaking like sucking on the freaking pipe, waiting for the trickle to trickle some more. No, you don't get to do that. You're just gonna shut the flip up and sit quietly, wait for the thing to trickle down some happiness or joy on you, and that's it. That's your fair share. You don't get to bitch or moan about it. It's done. It's done. And it's also some sort of, in a weird way, it's what you want. You know, you might say I'm crazy for saying this, but whether you want it or not, somewhere inside you, you want that, you know? You want that. And it's not like you're asking for misery. You're asking to improve yourself. You're asking to improve parts of your life or aspects of your life, or you're trying to improve someone else's life. And then, you know, I wrote this here. It's like this. You keep asking God for something, you know. You keep asking God for something or for someone, or for yourself, or anything, you know. But you never look at your own hands. It's like when you're asking God, it's almost like you're pleading guilty to not doing enough. You're also like self-criticizing yourself and almost asking the divine God to make it easy for you. Low-key sad, but also true. True, everyone does it. And those who don't, dude, they suffer. They suffer pretty bad, you know. They suffer regardless. It's whether you accept it, either you accept it or you keep suffering. Like it's worse. Like the guy says, right? The pain of staying the same or the pain of growth. You really have no option. Like you can either keep suffering and stay the same, or you can suffer, endure, and grow. It's a thing to always remember. And I noticed myself just checking the mobile 2 times now, and I was thinking, am I addicted? No, I was just looking for topics, if I'm being honest. I wanted to write down a couple more topics. And the thing that I was touching up on, like you get in a pinch sometimes, you know. People ask you for something and it becomes awkward because they hit a nerve somewhere, and then even though they needed the help, now you're stuck in a place where you're indifferent in a way, and you know how you operate and you want to help this person, but you also know that you're a flawed person yourself, right? And don't want to get close to people, you know. You really don't want to get close to people. Or I don't want to get close to people. I don't want to get close to a lot of people. And I say that with all due respect because I know how I am. I know how I am. And the people who are already around me, I think they know that too. And they kind of hate me for that too. And this is not a confession. I'm just telling you because this is true. There's nothing to hide about it. And I think a lot of people are this way, where they don't want to get close. It's like sometimes you just want this. You just want this. The silence. And on other days, on some different nights, you need some support. And if you're like that, it's really hard to keep a lot of good connections, or not good connections, but more like good friendships or close people, because this fear of not being there for someone is insane. Or someone becomes dependent on you and you're not there. It's a burden. It's a guilt, you know. It's a guilt. It's a forever guilt. And I just like many other people, countless people who were before me and after me, I do have my fair share of guilt, fair share of things that I'm not perfect with, and you're not perfect with. Nobody is perfect with. So it's embarrassing, and it's also true. And you mix all that up with some misery and some pain, you get the Powerpuff Girls of life, bro. That's what it is. It might be insane to say that, but that's what it is. And I'm happy and I'm grateful that at least I have this level of understanding. Even though I mess things up, you always need to go and fix them up too. I think that should be your main concern. Not just self-indulging on it yourself. If you have reached a conclusion where you thought you were right, if you have ever reached the conclusion or the thought where you did something to someone, whether it was intentional or not intentional, or whether you had any any meaning behind it or no meaning behind it, whether you had any intentions or good or bad, if you can fix it, go and fix it. If you can fix it, go ahead and fix it right now. There's nothing else you can do about it, but you can be honest and be clear and call yourself flawed and apologize if there's anything to apologize for. I think that's the way it should be. Other than that, I guess you keep going, you learn, and then you don't repeat, and I hope you don't repeat. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. I'll see you in the next episode.